When did my wife's attention-seeking child go too far? When I married Erin, I figured becoming a stepdad to a teenage girl would be challenging. In the way assembling IKEA furniture is challenging, annoying, confusing, and requiring a certain emotional resilience, but manageable if you breathe deeply and don't cry in front of anyone. What I did not anticipate was Lily, her 14-year-old daughter, who lives with more emotional intensity than the cast of every streaming drama combined. She feels things at full volume, with props, lighting cues, and sometimes a soundtrack. If she's sad, she transforms into a tragic heroine, sprawled across the couch under a blanket like she's awaiting diagnosis in a period drama. If she's annoyed, her door slams so hard that the thermostat jumps. If she's anxious, she crafts monologues about society's failings while eating dry cereal straight from the box. And yet, over time, I grew used to her flair. It became background noise, like living with a very theatrical smoke detector that goes off at the faintest emotional whiff. But everything escalated the day she went from dramatic teen to accidental fugitive. All because we asked if she'd printed her English essay, a request she took as a personal betrayal equal to banishment. She glared at us with the wounded fury of a queen betrayed by her court, slipped on her backpack like a cape, and announced that we never pay attention unless something disastrous happens, which I thought was pure melodrama. Then afternoon came, and the school called to ask if we knew Lily's alternative route home, which is administrative code for your kid Houdini'd out of here, and suddenly her morning speech didn't feel so exaggerated. To make matters worse, she'd texted earlier, "Getting on bus, don't worry," followed by, "Still alive, lol," and then, "JK love you." Three messages that could either mean I'm fine or I'm narrating my own disappearance. Erin's face went pale, and I felt my stomach do a full Olympic dive. We pulled up the school camera feed and watched in dawning horror as Lily marched straight up to a black SUV parked across from the bus stop, tapped on the window like she was serving a warrant, and demanded the driver verify his child's name, grade, and at least one fun fact, while half the student body recorded it like she was hosting an investigative YouTube channel. The man panicked and sped off, probably rethinking every life choice that led him to that moment. Then the bus left, without Lily boarding. That's when Erin began pacing in so many circles I thought she'd carve a groove in the carpet, and I started mentally rehearsing what we'd say to the police. Which was good because 10 minutes later, Officer Ramos was in our living room, taking notes while our dog judged us for losing a teenager indoors. 2 hours passed without a word. Find My Phone was off, her signature teenage power move, and every one of her friends claimed ignorance except one who admitted Lily had said she'd make everyone regret not listening. Not comforting. Just when I was ready to staple flyers to every tree in the county, I got a text from an unknown number. "Hey, it's me, don't freak out." The only people who say "don't freak out" are people who want you to freak out. We drove to the location she sent, our public library, and found her planted in the true crime aisle like a feral research assistant, surrounded by open books, scribbled notes, and snack wrappers. She greeted us with the calm confidence of someone who believes we should actually be impressed. "Good news," she said. "I figured out I'm not entirely paranoid." She explained, in a tone suggesting she expected applause, that the black SUV had been near her school multiple days, idling just long enough to be creepy, and because she assumed we'd dismiss her concerns as being dramatic again, she conducted her own investigation by following the man for hours, in very public, safe places, which she considered foolproof because danger doesn't happen near libraries, stepdad, that's a fact. She'd turned off her phone to avoid parental interference, followed the guy to 3 different locations, and took notes like she was writing a dissertation in criminology. Erin looked ready to pass out. I was ready to ground her until retirement age. But here comes the twist. After Lily handed over her partial license plate, timeline, Naswoin, and surveillance notes, complete with doodles, the police actually tracked the man down, and he had prior arrests for suspicious activity around schools. 2 days later, he was arrested again for lurking near an elementary campus. Lily considered this proof that she was a gifted junior detective. Erin considered it a sign she needed blood pressure medication, and I realized we had made a mistake constantly calling her overly dramatic. Because, yes, she's dramatic, spectacularly, relentlessly, award winningly dramatic, but sometimes her theatrics hide the fact that she genuinely feels unsafe, unheard, or overwhelmed. And when a kid who feels that way decides the only way to be believed is to disappear into a library and run her own investigation, well, maybe the adults missed a few cues. Now, when Lily bursts into the kitchen proclaiming the neighbor is absolutely running a secret operation, or that her math teacher has it out for her on a cellular level, I at least listen. 90% of the time, it's just teen energy bouncing off the walls. But the other 10% matters. And honestly, after that day, I'd much rather sit through a dozen false alarms than ever again open a message that says, "Don't freak out."